Alrighty. Welcome everybody to another episode of the J&J Talk Show, a special segment here where we bring to you the fallout of Extreme Rules, which aired last night. If you didn't get a chance to watch that last night, you could watch that live on Peacock. So we're just going to kind of take over, kind of watch, kind of review some of the matches of last night. And we're gonna see how we go here as we finish setting up here.
And there's like a 5-second delay with this.
Let's get through here. Alrighty. Well, I got a special person on. We're gonna try to make this work. Hopefully things here. But we got Trey. Trey, what's going on? How you doing?
Oh, nothing much. It's getting ready to go to the event tonight. Still,
and I understand that there is a delay going on over there. So we'll work with
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules, a big night. Yeah, you know, I want to just tell you here and get your thoughts over here, because before we break down Extreme Rules, which is just going to go over the matches and tell you what happened last night on Peacock. It was the first pay-per-view out of SummerSlam, right? And not only that, they had themselves 5 weeks to prepare for this match. Did they execute this pay-per-view the way it should have been?
No. Not at all. There's literally only one Extreme Rules match.
I mean, that was a big issue coming into this show. They had 5 weeks of preparation. They had the fallout of SummerSlam. They even had a competition between AEW's Fallout pay-per-view, which excelled over SummerSlam. So going into Extreme Rules, like you said, one pay-per-view, or one stipulation for that matter. I guess you consider maybe the triple threat match as a stipulation, but I don't consider it. Nothing to excite me enough going forward. And now when you look going forward, you got 4 weeks before Crown Jewel, which is going to take place outside the country on October 21st.
Right.
So we're going to get right into Extreme. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I hopefully they build up this pay-per-view to be better.
The problem is with this pay-per-view, though, I will tell you this for a fact, okay, is that this upcoming pay-per-view, though, is out of the country. They have to make this pay-per-view a better pay-per-view because it's in the contract signing that they had with the international circuit with Saudi Arabia. So this match, this pay-per-view that's coming up in October doesn't have an option, but it has to be better. You know, you're going to see guys like Brock Lesnar, maybe Goldberg, maybe John Cena, top name talent as the type of pay-per-view it is.
Right. Maybe they're doing a female match too.
We saw that a couple years ago with Natalya.
Maybe they need to put that triple threat match with Becky, Sasha, and Bianca.
I would love to see that. But you know what? We'll get to that on another episode here. Like I said, if you're just tuning in with us here on YouTube Live, Spotify, Facebook will be posted up later on today. We're working with Trey. We have two screens going on. He's on a device. There's a couple of second delay, so I apologize for the moment of silence here. Um, but let's get right into it. And the first thing that we notice is the kickoff match. Liv Morgan defeats Carmella via pinfall. Was this a? I guess my question to you, Trey. I never saw anything for this match to be a pay per view, anyways. But yet again, they made it an Extreme Rules pay per view kickoff match. Was this match successful? Did it put over Liv Morgan? What is next for the girls? I'm not buying. I never bought it to begin with. It still doesn't do nothing for me. What does it do for you?
Well, I think this big win over Carmella for Liv Morgan might possibly build her up for a championship match.
So Liv Morgan possibly gets a championship match. Is that where we're headed?
Maybe.
Who is she going after? Charlotte, or is she going after Becky Lynch?
I think she'll get drafted the Raw.
So get to the Raw. I don't know. I never saw anything impressive out of this match, but it was apparently worthy enough to be on the kickoff match. Remember, coming into this pay-per-view, there was only 6 matches scheduled. They threw in a 6-man tag match where the New Day defeats AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, and Omos via pinfall. This was a filler match, Trey. I mean, for me, it didn't bother to see the title being defended against Bobby Lashley and Big E. Obviously, they fit in as many athletes as possible. Last minute also. I don't like the last minute nonchalant matches. They did this back at SummerSlam with Baron Corbin and Big E. Now it's the 6-man tag match. You know what? I'm not happy. I mean, are you pleased with this match?
I was okay with it. I think it was pretty good to start off the show.
Pretty good to start off the show. I mean, it wasn't a bad match. I never thought it was a bad match. I thought it was a good match. But this is a Raw match. This was. It felt like WWE was scrambling. It felt like the WWE was scrambling to put everything here up on big screen here as they decided to, hey, let's throw in the last matches here. But I mean, I wasn't pleased at all about the 6-man tag match. I felt like they said it was a rush match. It was something they put together last minute. No advertisement. It took some time out of the pay-per-view, in my belief, and so I really didn't necessarily think that was something that should have happened, but it happened. Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods defeated AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, and Omos via pinfall, and that was to kick off Extreme Rules. Now we come to Monday Night Raw here, where now Big E and Bobby Lashley set to take on to square away for the WWE Championship. And I this is going to be kicking off Raw the Monday before the draft that begins this Friday on SmackDown. It's a 2-night draft. It begins Friday, October 1st, and it will resume and continue until the 4th of October, which is next Monday. Bobby Lashley, though, and Big E tonight for the title. You know what? I don't know. I thought this was a pay-per-view match. Was this a pay-per-view match, Trey?
Um, it might have been because they needed to put bigger or as much star power as they could on the pay per view, and they needed to put Bobby and AJ on there. And there was no WWE Championship match, so I think they needed to put Big E in there too.
Right. No, I completely agree with you there. I mean, I know these two belonged in the pay per view for sure. The WWE Championship belonged in rules. I just didn't like how they went about throwing them in a 6-man tag match here. I understand that WWE sat there and pushed on Big E in the sense that you put on the New Day's reunion. Now they're looking maybe possibly separating them again. I don't know where that. But for me though, personally, you should have just named, hey, have the WWE Championship rematch instead of having the conclusion you did back last night following to Monday Night Raw. Don't get me wrong. I don't discredit this because I do appreciate them having a title match on Raw. That's something they don't normally do as often anymore. But it kind of sets it up because how often do you see the WWE Championship title being, handed over and changing hands on Raw? It doesn't happen often at all.
But maybe they need to put that WWE Championship match for the next pay per view, not put on Raw, because we all know what's gonna happen. It's gonna get interrupted, and then it's gonna be a waste of a good match.
I completely don't know what this means for the crown jewel. Obviously, like you said, a lot of things going on because of the draft that's coming up later on this week. Um, we're talking about that. The bloodline gets right into action here. The Usos defeating the Street Profits to retain the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. With that being said, obviously, you don't see the Usos moving over to Raw anytime soon, holding unless something changes at Crown Jewel. Street Profits, do you see them going back to Raw, where they believe they first started out on? No.
I think they're gonna stay on SmackDown because there's not many tag teams left. If they leave, who's gonna challenge the Usos?
Right. Well, I think you have to. I mean, you saw Otis and you saw Chad Gable last night walk coming up to or no back on SmackDown. Back on SmackDown, Otis and Gable got in the face of the Usos during Roman Reigns and Montez Ford's match. Now you're right. The tag team division has decreased significantly, and they're in desperate need to trying to get the tag team division back up and running again like it used to. It wasn't that long ago where they really got a lot of great teams in there. But you talk about having new faces coming up here this coming up Friday, and a lot of it, yeah, it does have to come around to, okay, well, can you see the Viking Raiders go down? Can you see um, Monsu and Ali going to SmackDown? The newly Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. Do you see them going to SmackDown as tag team brands challenging the Usos?
Ah, I think so because SmackDown is pretty much the A show right now, and they need tag teams.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward as the WWE draft comes up this weekend. But it is something that we have to kind of consider. With that, like I said, the tag team division is not where it's at. Changing things up is going to be a good thing. You leave it to WWE to screw things up, but I would like to see how they come out through this. Coming up next here, Charlotte Flair not only defeats Alexa Bliss in a kind of weird settings match here. She retains the Raw Women's Championship match, but also she takes it a step further by destroying Lily, this long doll animal for Alexa Bliss, and Alexa goes haywired and does not look so pleased about it. So I'm interested as we head to Raw tonight. It's going to be fascinating to see just exactly Alexa Bliss's response to the Lily destruction, and does this rivalry continue? Do they get split? I would like to see this continue. I would love to see these mind games being played with Charlotte. I think that they work well together in the ring. They have great chemistry. I think the segments, you can pinpoint those segments and clean up, fine tune them. But I would like to see this rivalry revisit again, and a little bit longer heading into Survivor Series or more. I think ultimately it also showed me a sign where Alexa Bliss, not only she has this new character that she's been doing a great job giving away, but now she's also sitting there and now she's in the title conversations again. Put herself away from Nikki Ash. She's starting to build herself back up again, and I think that she's should be in the title conversation in the near future. Few more matches to come. So, I mean, you saw last night. You saw Charlotte Flair ripping Lily apart, tearing her to shreds. What is? I mean, your response, your action. I loved it. Did you feel the same way? Do you have the same energy about Lily, about what Charlotte did to Lily? And what do you think is going to come out from Alexa Bliss here? Coming up here in the next, tonight, Monday Night Raw, and the next programs.
Well, I think well, if you watch the post match interview with Charlotte, she said she thought she was facing the old Alexa Bliss. So now there's no Lily. So I think the Alexa Bliss's old character will return with hell to pay.
I'm not a big fan of that. I love this character. You got rid of the Fiend and Bray Wyatt, and I love this character that they have right now with Alexa Bliss and Lily. I think that they need it. I don't know. I mean, is WWE creative? Are they limited on what they could do? I guess that's a question to ask. Can they stretch this Alexa Bliss Lily character to the next level? And if they can, I don't see this character ending. The only way I see this character ending in Alexa Bliss going back to Alexa Bliss is because they can't take this character any further because of live events. My problem is to that, and one thing I really want to emphasize here is that when I've listened to reports from Alexa Bliss, she loves this dynamic character that create because she's able to be free in this character. She can do whatever she wants, and that's what she also loved growing up watching WWE. Guys like The Undertaker, guys like Bray Wyatt, guys like Kane, who had these mysterious characters, and they really took the next level. I don't want to see Alexa Bliss's character to be demolished like this. But maybe, I guess, maybe you could take a break from it and bring it back in the near future. But I don't know. I'm still enjoying this Alexa Bliss and Lily character.
I agree. Um, maybe they'll end up like being like the demon, where you know how he's his regular self, and then once in a while he'll bring the demon back.
I see. I want to see that too. The only thing I see though is that Finn Balor has established that demon that when he brings that persona out, that alter ego, then he's able to um he wins matches. It helps him win matches. This Lily character does not necessarily help win matches quite yet. It has not been built up just a little bit more. But like I said, I would like to see this character move on. I don't like this. I don't want Alexa Bliss to return. I would like to see they need these type of characters in WWE. That they've been doing it since day one, and they still desire characters. I'm talking about characters, not no one dimension characters. In the wrestling industry today, you got to wear multiple faces. I think I saw that. I heard about that in last night's episode with Stone Cold on the Stone Cold podcast between Stone Cold and Seth Rollins. They talked about have to be able to wear multiple personas. We talk about Rollins and the Messiah and the Beast Slayer and all that stuff. That just it pros along. Same thing with Alexa Bliss. So it's going to be interesting to see coming into Raw tonight how they move on from this character. Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, Becky loses to Bianca, right? Disqualification, but through the hands of Sasha Banks. So Becky Lynch does retain the SmackDown Women's Championship last night. Sasha Banks returns. Now we're looking for triple threat match. It was a no-call, no-show for SummerSlam. She spends the next 5 weeks away from wrestling, doing instant photos at beaches and whatnot. She's living life. I get that. But then she shows up unannounced and uninvited at Extreme Rules. And so for this here, you see Sasha Banks return, and she goes after not the SmackDown. Well, she doesn't go after the SmackDown Women's and Becky Lynch, but she also goes after Bianca Belair, costing her that title reign. Now, I want to ask you this. I mean, does Sasha Banks, after leaving, and let's just stick to the storyline and not regard ourselves to after, why she couldn't show up to SummerSlam, but with Sasha Banks, no call, no show for SummerSlam, appears randomly here on Extreme Rules, does she deserve an opportunity for the SmackDown Women's Championship? Or does she need to settle things with Bianca Belair first, and then the winner, prevails against the SmackDown Championship?
I think she needs to finish her business with Bianca. But my opinion is I hated this match. I did not like Bianca versus Becky. There should have been a clear winner. And then have Banks attack.
I mean, this really settles an unsettled score, which then you can leave this rivalry coming up here in the months to come. I get that, but I do agree. Becky and Sasha Banks. We thought that I expected this rematch at SummerSlam were going to be a really good match, and then Sasha doesn't show up. We pleaded on this show on Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair to have a match, to have a two-brawl match. Now, I don't know about you, but Bianca brought the fight. Becky Lynch did not bring half of what she usually brings to the table. So, I mean, it kind of decredits. I know it's going to be hard to portray Becky as such a heel character. But you have to start portraying her as a heel character, but she's going to have to do a better job with these matches. Becky sets that bar with the matches. She has phenomenal matches with Ronda Rousey, matches that she, is blown out of the water. And then to come in and have a phenomenal match, it's not even the right word to say against a person like Bianca Belair. And they both have chemistry in the ring too. They both can move. So I don't know what's going on with, is it the ring, being away from the ring? This is her first official match coming back from WWE. That 26-second match was not a match at all. So, there's a lot of questions to be asked about this. I think that Sasha and Bianca needs to take care of their business first, then the winner could go on and face Becky Lynch. I don't want to see a triple threat match. It's a one-on-one star power match, and that's all you need to see. It needs to be a brawl, right? I mean, a brawl between two women, and then a brawl another against two other women.
I agree. I don't know. They, like you said, we wanted that a full match, but Becky and Bianca, and still WWE still had to gave it to us. And now they're adding Banks when, yes, she signed that contract for SummerSlam, but we want to see a real match with Banks and Bianca, a clear winner.
You know what? You know what also would have been great to see too was maybe take this match between Bianca and Becky and make it like a Extreme Rules match, and where then Sasha Banks interferes and costs Bianca the match, which then still tells that story, and you actually have a clear winner. We're going to wrap it up here. We got the last final match here. Your thoughts on Roman Reigns walking away with Demon. There's a lot of things going on in this match. You had the Demon reincarnated himself during the match. Phenomenal. First time ever seen that. I enjoyed that. I liked the view of that. Really set him up to win. But as he went for the coup de grace on the top rope, the top rope turnbuckle broke, giving Roman Reigns the edge, spears, and wins. What was the match? The match was all you hoped for, maybe, but the ending just really blew it.
I agree with you. That match could have, topped that whole pay-per-view. Why end the match with like that? How did they do that? Because you've seen Alexa Bliss get on that freaking top rope and it didn't break for her. You seen
and throughout the match they were
try to jump on Roman right in and break in.
Yeah, some sabotage from maybe the bloodline. I don't know. I mean, sabotage. Maybe they work the ring workers. They loosen it up during that segment. It wasn't the greatest match. I think what also hurt me was the interference by Sasha Banks prior to that. That really, and then this sloppy ending to Extreme Rules wasn't the greatest. But okay, listen. Last thoughts. Extreme Rules, as we approach through, Monday Night Raw tonight, the fallout of Extreme Rules, as we head to the draft. Overall thoughts on how you thought Extreme Rules was?
Extreme Rules could have been better. They could have put better matches. I think what stole the show, in my opinion, was the Usos versus the Street Profits. That had you on the edge of your feet. Other than that, it was the Roman and the Demon. But I just wish it would have ended better.
Right. Yeah, no, the Usos and the Street Profits really came out across. I forgot to mention here, Sheamus, Priest pinned Sheamus in the triple threat match. Wasn't the greatest match, but it was a good match to say the least. The Usos and the New Day really had in-ring chemistry. We talked about how great they worked together against each other. Definitely a rivalry to see down the future, but I think they held on their match end here for Extreme Rules. A lot of the other stuff was out of ring action. Charlotte taking out Lily, Sasha Banks returning, the Demon and the turnbuckle and all that stuff. So, listen, Trey, I thank you for tuning on here, and hopefully to have you up here again. We'll get things fixed so there isn't so much of a delay as we come back on again as well. Okay, so thank you for being on the show.
Bye. Well, I appreciate you being letting me on, and hopefully Monday Night Raw will be better than Extreme Rules.
Absolutely,
I
Trey.
think that's
Thank you
just
again.
thinking because Raw's been boring.
Absolutely. We will see you later on. Like I said, we're heading out to Raw later on tonight here for WWE Raw. That was Trey Crail. He's been a longtime promoter, huge WWE fan. He's been promoting our channel since day one. Go check out his videos on TikTok. He's been making all of our TikTok videos. Great to see him. Thank you, Trey, for coming out. Listen, I want to give a quick shout out to StreamYard, our studio that we've been putting the show on. Like I said, we knew we had some delays that we had to tweak some things for today's episode, but I really wanted to make sure we got Trey on our show. So thank you, StreamYard, for the studio that you provide. The music in the background that you hear is through Epidemic Sound, which license all of my music that I'm playing in the background to kind of give you that full in entertainment all the way through, and that vibe, good feel vibe there. Also place it for our logos, our entrances, our entrances and our outros for the videos. Like I said, we'll head out to Monday Night Raw. We'll be back again tomorrow for the review of October Baseball. From October Baseball, we'll then on Thursday recap week number 5 for you for the NFL. A lot of great matches coming up, and then what you need to know coming up here on Friday. So a lot of action here coming to you up a week here on the J&J Talk Show. But I'm Justin. On behalf of the J&J Talk Show, we thank you, and you guys have yourself a wonderful rest of your day.
I have to